The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner, winner of the Italian Heritage Media Award, with your hosts, Tom Zappola and Mike Lamazzo.
There we go.
Hey.
See, hold on. Now, see, that was a faux pas, wasn't it, Chrissy?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it? Your left hand just didn't work fast enough?
Yeah. I was used to the other intro for the other one that we do as well. It's way longer, and I'm waiting forever. I'm
that
like,
what
I
it
have
is?
time for this. Let me sip my coffee. I'm like, nope, wrong show.
Mikey boy,
Hi, Tom. How are you, pal?
how's everything?
You know something? Doing better than I deserve.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner radio program. How's that?
Good.
Everybody yells at me because I never introduced a freaking show.
Yeah, that, and you don't give a telephone number.
97. Yeah, I don't even know what
Can't
the
do
hell-
that anymore.
Okay, who knows what the hell the number is? And by the way, we're going to start taking phone calls next week.
In the last
the
quarter.
last segment, we're going to start taking phone calls. I know David and Christine. They right now they're looking at us like with the Malokis, but that's okay. That's all
Only
right.
because you called me Christine. I'm like, who are you, my grandma? Nobody calls me Christine.
All right, listen. Big Al, my brother, Big Al from Sicily, freezing his ass off.
Yeah.
Is going to be joining us. He
It's
looks
colder.
like
It's
you know,
colder there than it is here.
Right now, you folks can't see him, but he's backstage and we can see him. He looks like the abominable snowman.
The key to it is he's inside and he's got gloves on.
No, he's outside.
Oh, is
he's
he
on
outside?
his porch.
He said, "Oh, it's warmer outside than
You
it
know,
is
he
inside."
looks like something out of what was that? What the hell was the name of that movie with the guy with the axe that was killing everybody?
The Shining.
The Shining. He looks like the guy from The
Well,
Shining.
listen to you go, girl. The Shining.
Listen,
The Shining.
oh.
Speaking
I know
of Go
things.
Girl, yesterday you had breakfast.
I did.
Now,
I had a very good breakfast.
Yeah,
the
but
first
hold on.
one you've
hold
ever
on. I got a
had?
couple of questions.
You don't. Okay, you're going to give me a chance to answer them, or you're going to answer them for me?
No, I'm going to ask you the question, then I expect you to answer
David.
it. So
Drives me crazy.
you had breakfast yesterday with some of the Lawrence High 1961 football team, right?
Yeah.
And there's 8 of you left that are still alive.
No, there's more than that. Some of the
Oh.
guys have already gone south.
How many
Real
are dead?
south.
All right.
Way south.
How many guys?
Way south.
Like Deep South?
How many guys in the team originally?
Originally, there was probably 65, maybe.
What are we down to? Like 12?
First of all, I don't find any humor in this. You were here for a short period of time.
Was Jerry Callaghy there?
You know, gosh darn well, Coach Callaghy was not. How could he be there? He passed away years ago.
Was Ralph Wolfendale there? Was he?
Ralph and Jerry are having their own little
Was
scrimmage.
Joe Celia there?
No, Joe passed away too.
Was Norm Poulin there?
Nom's in Florida.
Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
All right.
There's one.
All right.
There's one.
All right. That's not bad. No, actually, I know you had a good time.
Yeah, we went to Savastano's. We get together like probably every 10 weeks or so. And it's a lot of fun. It really is. I mean, we chat, we keep up with what's going on.
No, it's good that we did that. I did that last night, too, with my Holy Rosary
That's
friends.
right. You do that all the time.
Yeah, we got 8 of us, 6 of us got
6.
together.
My brother didn't get the invite. What happened?
Because he wasn't part of my neighborhood. These are my neighborhood guys. These are
So
the
you're
guys.
chastising because he lived in South Lawrence?
If you're not on that 5-block section, you're out.
All right.
Very simple. You're out.
Now, were there any trees for the dogs to pee on in that area?
In Lawrence,
On Common Street?
there was
Newbury
one
Street?
tree.
One tree.
One tree.
It was very popular.
One tree.
Now, that wasn't the old oak that was in front of the haunted house.
They cut that down.
I know they did.
They cut that. I ever
Because-
tell you that story?
No.
When they cut that down, my brother Al can. We'll mention this to him. That we're on that block. My house was
I
on
know,
the other side
I
of
know.
the block, and they cut. I don't even know if my brother Al remembers this. He probably was with us. They cut the old oak down. The old elm, not oak, it was an elm tree. They cut it down, and we used to sneak in there and play in that where that tree was. There was this big hole.
Oh, I know.
Big hole. So we were playing Wayne and myself, and I don't know if Al was there, Gary. And we actually found some artifacts. It's in my book, Bless Me Sister, that you can buy on Amazon, by the way.
Okay.
Pretty good, huh? We found...
Very good.
We found...
Not as good as Al, though. Al's got it down to a science. He just glides it right.
Slithers it in.
Oh,
But we
You don't even
found...
know what it is.
We found a cowbell, a belt buckle from the 1800s, and I think like a broken.
This was inside the house?
in the hole.
Oh, in the tree hole.
In the tree hole. Like
How the hell did they get there?
I don't know. We were in there playing.
No, how did the items get there?
Because they probably were there before the tree or when the tree was planted in the 1800s.
Wow.
Make a long story short, a cop yelled at us to get out of there. He said, "What do you got there?"
That was the last time you ever saw it.
Never saw it.
No, I took it home.
Took it home.
Took it home.
He says, "Here, give me this stuff before you guys go to jail." Gone.
That building was, everybody thought it was haunted, that house.
Well, the building, the house, you're talking about the Bardwell house.
Yes.
Yeah. Next door to that was the Stapira post.
Correct.
We used to think that was haunted because there was never anybody in there. So we used to go there and smoke butts.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we used to break in, smoke cigarettes.
No kidding.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, you could afford them back then. How much is a pack
Wayne
of cigarettes?
and I used to buy,
Massachusetts?
I was 9, he was 8. No, I was 10, he was 9. And we'd buy a different pack of cigarettes every week. We never inhaled them, but we'd buy a different pack of cigarettes. And we used to hide them under a rock at the end of the alley. And we used to go down there and light them up and, never inhaled. Tarrytons, Winstons, Newports.
See, you could afford to buy cigarettes. Like when I went to grammar school, they used to serve milk. You know how you had the milk in the cafeteria type of thing?
Yeah.
So we'd get 4 or 5 straws, and we would twist them to make them like a cigarette, and then we'd smoke that.
Oh, yeah, we used to
It was
do
a
that.
lot cheaper.
Did you ever try smoking a plastic one?
Hey, you know what I was reading the other day? They picked the best dessert restaurants and pastry shops in the North End.
Don't tell me freaking Mike's is at the top of the list.
No.
Modern? Bova. Bova is excellent.
Okay, who would you pick for number 2?
I would pick Modern. I would pick Modern number 1, Bova number 2. Honestly, I would. I think Modern is the best. Bova is second. I think Mike's a distant third.
It come in 6th.
Did it really?
Yeah, I freaking loved it. Every tourist that goes into the North End, David.
Yeah, but
where's
that's marketing.
Mike's pastry?
That's marketing.
Where's Mike's?
You know something?
It's a factory.
Yeah, but hold on. I tip my hat off to them because that's
They
great
market.
marketing.
They
Great
market.
marketing.
They're outside in the street. They're lined
Very,
up.
very good marketing.
They're taking a fortune. But the modern pastry,
Excellent. Excellent. I couldn't agree with you more.
But
Plus, whenever you're with Tony DeMarco and you walk in, you always got free stuff. Canola.
the guy didn't pay for a meal for 40 years.
Tony never, ever.
paid for a meal.
I probably had lunch in the North End with Tony 30 times. We never
Never paid
spent
for a meal.
dime.
It's a wonderful thing. The only thing is, David, you got to be prepared. Because if you're going to walk with him and his wife, walk a block, it's going to take you at least 35 to 40 minutes.
That was pretty funny. That's
Everybody,
pretty funny.
remember?
Yeah.
Can I have a picture? They
Everybody-
don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
Can I have a picture?
Yeah. One day, I want to get back to the football.
No, we will.
But one day, it was for the Fisherman's Feast. It was myself and Ellen, Tommy Cerrito and Staten Island Joe. They flew up from Florida with their wives, Tony and Dottie and Louie and Pam. We went out to dinner. We had a blast. And we took a walk up. They wanted to see the statue. We took a walk up to the statue, and it was feast time. There was several hundred people taking pictures in front of the statue. And I'll never forget this. So we're talking, Tony's talking, and there's this tourist from Ireland, real Irish brogue. And boxing is big in Ireland. Mm-hmm. So, we're talking, and he says, boy, he must have been a hell of a fighter. And I said to him, why don't you ask him? He said, what are you talking about? I said, that's him. The guy's mouth dropped. The guy's mouth
right
dropped.
alongside of him.
And as soon as that happened, we couldn't get out of there.
That's it.
We could not get out of there. They pulled Tony up by the statue. People are hopping on to have their picture taken. We were there for like a half hour. And
He had quite a life.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
good man. He was. I tell Al this. My father died a long time ago, 20-something odd years, and Tony became like a father to me.
Your father had passed before
96,
I met you.
1996. But Tony became almost like a second father to me.
My father, 1997.
All right, listen, I want to talk about this because you're bringing up some very good points about football. And, my brother Al,
He's a coach.
we both coached. But he's got a grandson that is an excellent athlete. He's a baseball player, but he plays football. And my little grandson Johnny.
This is Matt's boy?
Yeah. And my little grandson Johnny is a moose.
The moose.
His father played college football, and all Johnny wants to do is play football. That's all he wants to do. He wants to be, he tells us, he says, I will go to BC and I will play for the Patriots someday. That's what he says. He's 8.
You know something?
But he's a bull. But we're trying to discourage him.
How old?
He's 8. And Pop Warner starts at 9. I'm trying to discourage him from playing Pop Warner football.
I hope you do.
So, I mean, I know that.
In my personal opinion, I think boys and girls, because they're mixed, shouldn't play contact tackle until they're in high school. Because you get a boy from 8 to 12, the body is just maturing. And you subject them to those kind of hits, Tom, it's not right.
Well, I mean, those are the things that build up, Mikey. So
it doesn't have to be a major hit.
Right.
It's the recurrence of the event.
So by the time you go through high school, and then if you're fortunate enough to play, even high school, you only play 4 years. I mean, you can have severe issues later on down the road.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not saying everybody does, but I'm saying you have to be careful.
Let the body. We play in. I went to the John Breen Grammar School.
Yeah.
And in the 7th and 8th grades, the John Breen, we used to compete against the different schools. The toughest school in the city of Lawrence at that time, because these kids used to drive to school in grammar school, and that was the Oliver. And Ray the Fury right now was calling me everything under the sun. But the Oliver, the kids looked like they were married and had 2 kids of their own.
I know.
They were big. They were old.
They did.
But we had flag football, and there was a league.
No problem.
Absolutely not. First, you learn how to work with your teammates. You learn your plays. You learn the proper way of blocking. You're learning some fundamentals.
I agree.
All right? But you're not taking and subjecting your son. If I had a boy, if I would have been blessed
Tommy never played. Tommy, honestly, could have been a quarterback because he had a phenomenal arm. He wasn't big, but I remember when he went to Bishop Fenwick.
Yeah.
The football coach said, "Why don't you try out for the team?" And I said, "No, he's not." And Tommy agreed. I don't want any part of football because he could throw the ball a mile. But I didn't want him to play because he played baseball and ran track and played basketball. But point being, I'm going to ask you this question: how many concussions do you think that you had? Now, at the time, they weren't diagnosed as concussions. But in your opinion, over the 8 years that you played high school football, now how many years was it? 6?
Oh, I don't know. I had a couple at Central. I had one at Lawrence.
So you had about 3 or 4?
3 or 4.
So is that the reason you're like you are today?
It probably explains a great deal. But,
See, because my brother Al played. Al played for Austin Prep, and he played for BC for a couple of years, and he's not right.
I wish I was as right as him, but my point is when you're that young and your body is not developed, your shoulders are not big, it's unfair. And you get some of these kids at 12 years old, they're mooses like John, all right?
Exactly.
Johnny. And you get a kid that's 80 pounds, I mean, you're like a steamroller going into this kid.
I got a concussion once.
I had one too.
Against Methuen High School. Now, this is Larry Clemens' old-time football. These were Larry's exact words to me. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this as long as I live, David and Chrissy. We're in the huddle, and I was a wide receiver. Then they called it a split end.
Yeah.
He calls a play, right? And his name was Johnny Cook. He was a friend of mine. He was a linebacker. Boom. He clicks me right in the head. I go down. And I get up and I hear this ringing in my ears. So now I get up, I go into the huddle, and Paul Lyman, our quarterback, he calls a play. I said, Paul, what am I supposed to do?
You couldn't think of it.
He goes, Zap, what are you kidding me? Do this, this, and this. I said, okay. Calls another play. Paul, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Where am I supposed to be?
You got whacked.
So he calls a timeout. Coach, something wrong with Zap. What do you think Larry says to me? He says, Zap, sit down. I says, Coach, he says, what's the matter? I says, I don't remember anything. He says, sit down tonight when you go home, take a couple aspirin. That's exactly what he said to me.
I went to
Take a couple of aspirin.
I went to block a punt, and I got kicked in the head so hard that I had blood coming out of my ear.
Good. Well, anyways, so the advice is
my point
be
is,
careful.
if I had a son,
Right.
I
agree.
wish I'd been blessed to have a boy, or a
You got
girl
one.
for that matter. Huh?
You got one.
You?
Yeah.
We're so polar opposite and everything. I mean, I'm not just talking a one or two. It goes the whole spectrum.
Chrissy, do you believe
I
that?
would. I
you
would
think
not.
we're opposites?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I would not.
David?
Yeah, I would say so.
I would never. I would try to do everything.
I agree.
Now,
I agree.
yesterday, that question we're talking about, what you just asked me, I brought it up to the 8 guys who were sitting around the table. And
They're all
7 out of the 8
Said
were
they-
opposed.
Opposed to kids playing.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
One said, I would leave it to my son. So he didn't one
Yeah.
way or the other. But if it was for me, I'd do everything possible. David, what would you do?
I'm concerned about my grandson playing hockey at this point. I mean,
See, that's a good
it's-
point,
He
too.
just started playing.
That's
and
a good point,
They're not allowed
too.
to hit each other, but that's a problem.
Yeah,
too.
that's a good point.
Chrissy,
So-
what would you if you had
Like
a boy?
rugby. I mean, rugby is just it's a sport in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Tough.
I mean, would you let an 8, 9-year-old kid play rugby?
Yeah, but I'm Australian. We're just rough and tough.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying, though, the repetitiveness. Because at first I'm like, what are you thinking?
Well, CTE,
conditioning,
man. You
that'd
don't
be
want
fine. Make them
CTE.
tough. But
There's-
yeah, you're right.
During
That
the season, you
repetitive,
get
like-
hit at least 250 times.
Yeah.
That's on average.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
The same, the shaking of the head. We have crystals in between our ears. Once you don't, but most people do. You have crystals in between your ears.
I have diamonds.
Once they get out
Diamonds.
of balance, it's your inner ear.
I know.
And
that.
it
I understand.
throws it off. And that's why you see some of these crazy people. You put the news on in the morning, what do you see? A car driving into a house almost every day. Why? How can a car drive into a house? These people are crazy. It's because they play. It's because they play
must be a
football when they
football
were
player.
young.
Yeah, former
They
football
play
player.
football.
So the
when they were
80-year-old woman that slams into a Cumberland farm, she was playing football.
That's another thing.
She was probably a
Why do
cheerleader.
they have to? They never
was a
say,
cheerleader.
They never say the age of a 40 or a 50-year-old
No.
that smashes through a porch into somebody's living room.
Well, I've seen-
But you get a 70-year-old.
Yeah. I don't know.
elderly man, 72
Oh,
years
I've
old.
seen you drive. Your driving skills are nowhere near what they used to be.
My drive.
With that, we'll take a
If
break.
that's what you think, that's fine.
No, one second. I want to say one other thing before we take a break. The other thing I wanted to talk about, Mike and I have been talking about this. You know, for the Great American Collectible Show, we are one of the Jimmy Fund. We support wholeheartedly. We're a big Jimmy Fund supporter. We've done fundraisers. Back about 6 or 8 years ago, Mike and I did a fundraiser.
Probably longer.
Yeah, for a young guy who is
Who we
now,
never knew.
Who we never knew. He's now in his mid-40s. His name was Chris Beauchamp.
Nice people.
And we did a fundraiser for Chris because Chris, when he was 20-something, he's 30-something now, dove off a boat with his mom. They were fishing or something, and he hit a rock, broke his neck, and now he's paralyzed from the chest down. So Chris,
That's something.
yeah. And so we did a fundraiser, and we had a wonderful time. And Chris is just a great kid. So after the first of the year, we're gonna. They're starting a GoFundMe page for Chris because, quite frankly, Chris's mother is having a hard time financially now with the medical bills. So they're starting a GoFundMe page. So we're going to make Go for the Bosch, it's called.
Yep.
Our official
Go for the Bosch.
Go for the Bosch. I think that's what we're going to call it. And that's going to be our official charity going forward for the year 2022 to see if we can raise some money and help Chris's mother. And we'll get, as we get into it after the first of the year, we'll give you more information.
Yeah.
Great kid.
Nice family.
Great kid.
We
All right, we're going
we
to take
did that at the Vineyard, right?
Servino Vineyards. Yeah, we raised some
had a
money
good
for him.
time.
Yeah, that was fun. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have the abominable snowman that's going to be joining us from Sicily, Al Zappola. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Looking for that something special? All of us here at the Sicilian Corner suggest trying Ristorante Uno, located at 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. For the most exquisite dining experience in an intimate setting that serves authentic regional Italian cuisine and features old country service. Try Ristorante Uno. Did we mention their award-winning wine cellar? Ristorante Uno, 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. Call 617-573-9406 for reservations. That's 617-573-9406. Tell them the boys from the Sicilian Corner sent you.
Today.
Today, Lawrence General Hospital has affiliations with leading Boston academic medical centers. Top specialists from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center work with our local doctors to bring world-class care close to home. Today, amazing partnerships are happening at Lawrence General Hospital. To learn more, visit lawrencegeneral.org/today.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine is pleased to announce the opening of their American College of Radiology accredited MRI unit at their location at 16 Pelham Road in Salem, New Hampshire. So now, in addition to receiving the best orthopedic care in the Merrimack Valley, as well as physical and occupational therapy at Optima Sports Therapy and Rehab, you can also have your MRI, all in one convenient location. The doctors and staff of Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine have been dedicated to providing outstanding medical care to the Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire since 1984. Located on Route 97, just off Exit 2 from Route 93 North, on the second floor of the Workout Club of Salem. You deserve the best care, and that's exactly what you'll get from the board-certified surgeons at Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine. Please call 603-898-2244 to schedule an appointment.
A loyal sponsor for the Sicilian Corner is Hilton Oil Company. Hilton Oil has been located right across from the South Lawrence Common since 1932 at 101 South Union Street. Hilton Oil Company specializes in 24-hour burner service, oil deliveries, including automatic deliveries, serving all the Merrimack Valley area, plus portions of southern New Hampshire. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Hilton's state-of-the-art service station. Remember, Hilton's is also a Mass State inspection station. Hilton Oil Company, 101 South Union Street in Lawrence. Call 978-687-9793.
This is Cindy
and Mike Kunstler,
owners of Grazie Italian Restaurant in Dracut, Massachusetts,
the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
In addition to spectacular views overlooking our golf course, we have an incredible Italian chef, Benny Curti.
Benny was born and raised in Italy and came to be our executive chef in 2013.
Benny is so passionate about cooking. If you haven't experienced the food at Grazie Italian Restaurant, you're truly in for a treat.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club.
Okay, we are back. Look at him.
I wouldn't put it past
Mikey,
him.
look at him.
He looks nice and comfortable.
He looks like... Al, you okay?
I don't think he can hear us.
Al, can you hear us? Can you talk?
You'll have to unmute yourself.
Al, you have to
Al.
unmute yourself. We cannot hear you, Al. You have to unmute yourself.
That's a good thing. No?
Al, we can...
I can fix this. I'm going to press a little button here. He'll get a little thingy.
Al?
He'll get a pop-up.
There we go.
He is.
Test these. 1, 2, 3.
Al, we just went over this with you. How come we couldn't hear you? What did you do?
because Chris muted me, and then I had to unmute it, and then she just sent me the thing right now.
him. There's no way I can.
I mute him, but he has to unmute himself. But that's all right.
See, I try muting him all the time.
It's a collaboration.
I try muting him all the time.
Yeah,
it
that's
never
a
works.
good idea.
Never works.
Never works.
Albie boy.
We got it.
Yeah, you look like you're really
Wait a
cold.
minute. Can I just say one thing about Mike and you, what you guys was just talking about?
Sure.
Mike, the one thing that I would consider is the advancement in the equipment between 1959 or 61 rather, when you played, and today. The equipment that the kids have today is far more, more safe than it was when you and I played, for sure. And also the level of instruction on the coaching staff, where you have to go through certification processes, I think is important as well.
I
but I
agree with
believe
you.
that's just my own opinion, huh?
So would you? But hold on. Would you advocate a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old playing Pop Warner? You have no problem with that?
No, I do have a problem with that.
Oh,
and
okay.
I agree with you that they ought to play flag football until high school. Period.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe the 8th grade, or maybe where they have a certain height. Like my grandson Matt, he's 6 feet tall. He's 12 years old, right? He's the best athlete for the 13 years olds when he plays with the 13-year-old kids,
Right.
whether it's football, whether it's basketball, or
He's
whether
good-
it's
he's
baseball.
good in
So it's all
everything.
about the size as well. But I really think that the level of coaching is profoundly important.
Hey Al, may I tell the story? I'm going to tell a story about my
I just
brother.
want to go back
ahead.
to what.
All right,
stay
go
on
ahead. And
this
then I want to
topic
tell.
just
I
for a
want to
minute.
tell an Al Zappler coaching story.
I think contact practices should be limited.
I
also.
totally agree with
Pop
that.
Warner just passed a
Totally
rule,
agree with you. That's right.
and
Good
they're
point.
cutting it back because you get banged up more in practice.
You guess what? That's all
Monday
the
you
injury-
play on a
Absolutely.
Sunday, you get Monday off. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's full.
At
contact.
Austin Prep, we used to call it Bloody Tuesday.
Yeah, because it was the hottest
Bloody
day.
Tuesday was the toughest one.
Yeah.
But Al, I'm gonna.
Those are the old days. Those are the old days.
Oh, you know
Nowadays,
something? Look at Junior Seau. Look what happened to him, professional. The guy.
He's just one of a zillion.
I know that you could go on and on
Brett
and on.
Favre,
They have the equipment.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I know you
I
do.
agree.
But I got to tell you, an Al Zappler, the first coaching gig that we both had is.
You didn't coach together.
We did 1 year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We did 1 year. It was the first job that I had coaching. I was teaching school, and at the time they had junior high football teams.
Yeah.
So
1979.
it was a 79. I got the head coach job for the Amesbury Middle School football team, 8th graders, 7th and 8th graders, and.
It was full contact?
Oh, yeah. This was like, we played the Cape Ann League. All the teams played Ipswich, right? And we had a team of thugs. They were thugs. We had...
But that's what you want.
We had, listen to this, we had 16 kids on the team. 16 kids.
That's it?
But they were phenomenal athletes.
Oh, wow.
And these kids were like 84 years old. I mean, these kids were thugs. Amesbury kids. And we're playing Newburyport. The biggest game of the year, Amesbury Newburyport, at the stadium, right? I'll never forget this as long as I live, Al. Now, Al was my line coach. He handled the offensive line, defensive line.
Yep.
And we're down 6-0 at the half to Newburyport.
Okay.
So now we go under the stands, into the room, and Al says, I want to talk to the kids. I says, go.
Did you stay or did you go?
Oh, I was there.
Okay.
He gave the greatest Newt Rockney
Oh,
speech
I love it.
that the kids were crying. The kids were crying.
He's a motivator.
The kids were crying. And after that speech, they ran onto the field and we annihilated them.
Whipped ass.
And I said to him as we're walking out to the field, I says, Al, I feel like crying. That was so inspiring. Do you remember that?
Good for you.
Do you remember that, Al? That was
I do. That was Joey DeRoche.
Joey
on that
DeRoche
team.
went on to play for
High
BC,
team.
at Berkeley and BC. Yeah, we had to play.
That was a good group of athletes. Yeah.
That's
The
great.
next year, Larry hired me. Larry Clemens hired me the next year at Methuen High.
Right.
And I ended up spending several years with Larry. And that was a great honor for me because he was my coach in high school. And then he hired me to be one of his assistant coaches. And I was with him not only for football, but also for track and field, doing shot put and stuff like that.
Al holds the
that
record.
was
Al held the record. Al.
I threw the shot put, Al, for Lawrence High School.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? Yeah, but when we threw it in those days, you kind of shuffled and you throw it.
Well,
now it was all about, now it's all about the East German technique where you spin and you.
Al, didn't you break the record at Austin Prep at the time for the shot put? Yeah. And that's because he fouled twice. You slipped.
Yep.
The third time he got so pissed off, he threw it like a baseball.
So you threw it with your arm?
I didn't use any technique.
I'm kidding.
I didn't use any technique. I got pissed. It was at the Catholic League.
And you were so pissed off.
And, I got pissed. And because the other two were like 55 feet or 57 feet. They were way out there. But I fouled. So I said, the hell with it. I got to get into the final. So I just stood there and I just, threw it. I got 52 feet and I ended up, placing. I think I placed third.
The farthest I ever threw it was at the New England Invitationals in Boston Garden. And I threw it 53-4. The farthest I ever threw it.
That's a good
53-4. I was so excited. I thought I had it made. This kid, he threw it 56 feet.
That happened.
56 feet. It was unbelievable. I was working almost full time when I was in high school. And they wanted me to go and throw the shot put. And I says, I can't come to practice. I says, I work. I'll tell you what, we'll get you your own shot put. You practice on your own as long as you can come to the meets. And they went to our principal. His name was Sullivan. And I got permission. I could drive to the away games because the field event, the shot put was the first field event. I used to go, throw the shot
and leave.
Get in my car. I couldn't drive anybody. I had to be by myself. And then drive back up here to Salem, New Hampshire
to go to work
at the Butcher Boy.
Unbelievable.
And that's a true story. And I did that for 2 years. Never had my picture taken with the team. Never. I was never there. I was never there.
Albie, let's go. All right. Obviously, what's going on with
one more story, Tom. Okay, when we were talking about the Bardwell house.
Yeah.
And we were looking for stuff. I remember you were there, right? Cowbell. But did you remember that I found that baseball card? It was the bottom half of the Honus Wagner card.
I do, Al. I do
bottom half.
Throw it out.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's funny you mentioned that because they just found the other half. They just found. Did you read about that?
No.
Listen to this one. The Honus Wagner
You're being
card.
serious now?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's the headline for the next show. Dave Kohler, who we had on several weeks ago, SCP Auctions, they have the second graded card by PSA, except it's the Honus Wagner card and it's ripped in half. It's only a half a card.
Oh, wow.
They're going to start the bidding at $25,000.
A half a card.
Half a ripped card. And they're going to wind up getting $300,000 for that card. Isn't that unbelievable?
Why Honus Wagner? Why him in particular?
Because
why is he's got the most expensive card?
Because when the cards came out, he did not give them permission to make the card. And they used to come in tobacco cigarette packages. They were tobacco cards.
Okay.
And he was very anti-tobacco smoking, chewing tobacco.
Good for him.
He didn't want kids doing that. So he says, no, get my name out of there. So they only ran about 100 cards, but there's only about 40 or 50 left.
Oh, so that's the story.
Yeah,
that's why
it's so rare.
Yeah.
All right, Al, so why is it so cold there? What's going on?
We've had rotten weather for the last 6 weeks. I mean, first of all, the month of October was first, we didn't have any rain the whole year. Then all of a sudden, in two rainstorms in October, they got a whole year's worth of rain. And all the major cities were flooded out because of the infrastructure couldn't handle the pipes and stuff. And then when we had, believe me when I tell you, we had cars floating by and stuff like that. It was just unbelievable.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It was terrible. As we went into November, the weather started to get unseasonably cold. And I mean cold.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to understand, like I was telling Mike, we have no insulation in our houses. It's just reinforced concrete with rods.
Yes.
That's it.
Rebar.
So, 45 degrees here feels like 25 degrees in New England.
Right.
I mean, it's cold, and the cold kind of stays with you. So Esther and I, you know Esther, right? You, Me, and Sicily.
Yep.
www.youmeandsicily.com.
I knew. I was waiting.
The executive producer of the best program on the internet, on YouTube.
Al, we know.
Anyways,
We know.
She
Okay.
walks around all day with like a heavy sweater, a hat, a scarf, and everything else. during this period of time because it's been cold. We're hoping that the weather's going to change, so we'll see.
Al, what's going on with the variant there, with this Omicron, whatever the hell it's called?
Wait a minute. Just wait. We have a quick guest.
Hi,
Here's
Esther.
Esther.
Hello. Hi, Esther.
Good morning.
How you doing, honey?
Ciao, guys.
There's the brains.
ciao.
There's the brains behind that.
Very
duo.
That's for sure.
Okay.
Al, so what's going on with the variant?
All right. First of all, we have 71% of the entire population double vaccinated. 71%.
Of Sicily or of Italy?
All of Italy, and Sicily is at 67%, but it's all the overall is 71% double vaxxed.
Yeah.
Some more are single vaxxed. And now they're rolling out big time the booster, which I'm scheduled to get in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And they have their neck on the people's throat over this thing, not because they're afraid of this new variant, because I think the word on the street is pretty much it's a bunch of baloney.
You mean as far as the seriousness of it?
I'll tell you why in just a second with this
Yeah.
saying over here, but they want to keep the tourist season for 2022, and they want to make sure that that Italy still stays as the number one place to come in all of Europe.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Makes sense.
No, that's
Yeah.
good. That's
So
good business.
So, I mean, just this morning, they passed a new regulation from Draghi, the prime minister. Now, even though we're white zone, which means you can do anything, you have to wear a mask when you're outside.
Oh.
You mean just walking the streets?
Only if you went into like a big place where there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But you have to wear a mask now outside walking around. It's like crazy.
Wow.
But they're doing that to send a message to everybody. Now, let me just get back and tell you about what the word on the street is about this new variant, okay? Which, as we all have read about, comes from Africa, where, by the way, only 6% of the entire African population is vaccinated, 6%.
Okay.
Okay? They don't have any money. They don't have any money. They don't have any money for the vaccinations, these poor countries. But according to the papers that I'm reading, the worst thing that's happening with this variant is you have a cough.
Well, we're reading that too.
Yeah.
They say it's milder than the Delta variant.
But they're saying it's not going to be too bad if you get it, because it's going to give your body, for those who are even unvaxxed, the necessary antibodies.
That's what we were
that may
talking.
fight off-
We were talking about
We were
that.
talking
They
about that
fight off-
yesterday.
You know, it's funny,
Huh?
Al. It's funny you're saying that because I had my my appointment with my rheumatologist a couple of days ago, and we got into the discussion. And he said to me, he really spelled it out correctly. He says people have got to realize, in my opinion, he said, he qualified it, that this entire thing is going to become an endemic, which means that it's going to be no different. It's going to be with us forever.
Like the flu.
Like the flu, and then people are going to have to get vaccinated at least once a year. But he said to me that he's very confident that they're going to be able to, at some point in time, and they're already working on it, combine the COVID vaccine and the influenza vaccine all into one. So, I mean,
That would be good. Yeah, that would be good. It's part of life. It's becoming part of life now. It really is.
Absolutely.
You know, you guys know that Esther and I are in the tour business. We give tours.
You do? I didn't know that. Why don't you tell us about it, Al?
Group tours with Yumi and Sicily. They're posted on yumiandsicily.com.
Really?
Did you know that, David?
David, did you know that?
We do private work.
We need a
We
breaking
do a whole bunch of
news
them. Anyways,
It's
and
unbelievable.
they're almost all sold out, by the way. We have a few spots left, but just go there and you can find out, But we have taken all the necessary precautions. So when someone comes from the United States, the base requirement is that any one of our vendors that we go into, they have to be vaxxed. Number one, all our guides have to be vaxxed. Our bus drivers have the things that you don't think about. Esther, executive producer from Yumi and Sicily, has been working on that day and night, and hopefully it's going to be a good thing.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Al, I want to talk about the food, what's going on with the food situation there. How was your Thanksgiving, and what's Christmas going to be like?
I
in
have one
Sicily?
question for him.
When we come back.
Wait, no. You know something? All right.
No,
All right. No, forget about it now.
No, because if
I
you
don't wanna
ask a
talk about
question,
it. I don't want to
he's going to take 10 minutes to answer it, and then we're going to
It
have
won't take 10 minutes. I'll take 1 minute.
All right,
okay?
go ahead. Ask the question.
I forgot what the question was.
All right, we'll be
Let's
right
go.
back.
We're going to take a break.
Hang in there. We'll be right back.
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and we can never agree. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with great Italian cuisine, Capri Seaside Italian Grill. Me, I love the elegant romantic vibe, Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu with prices that'll make it the place you want to visit every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of an even cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Music Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all these great places, and they treat everyone like they're Mike Lamazzo. And best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all of this fun is right at your fingertips. We can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out about all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at northshorepavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler,
owners of Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
In addition to spectacular views overlooking our golf course, we have an incredible Italian chef, Benny Curti.
Benny was born and raised in Italy and came to be our executive chef in 2013.
Benny is so passionate about cooking. If you haven't experienced the food at Grazie Italian Restaurant, you're truly in for a treat.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club.
Okay, we are back, and Big Al is in Sicily. Hey, Al.
Yeah, I wanted to ask.
Oh, you remember?
When you're. Yeah, I remember.
Well, you said you didn't remember.
Yeah, well, that was just like what do you call it?
It's called dementia.
Yeah, that too. Getting hit in the head too much. I wanted to ask you, when you have your tours, and they're perfect size tours, by the way. I mean, you have a limited amount of people. On average, Al, what do they run?
Between 10 and 14.
Okay.
14
What is the
most we'll take. Yeah, between 10 and 14.
Okay. What is the most requested place that people want to see on your tours in Sicily?
They want to go to Noto. They want to go to Agrigento.
They want to go to where?
Taormina. They want to go to
Agrigento.
Siracusa. They want to go to Palermo.
And how about
the number one? What's number one?
What's number one, Al?
The Pearl of Europe, Taormina.
Yeah, that's what I would think, too. That's a beautiful,
That's
beautiful.
the Pearl of Europe.
That is
Everybody
really,
wants to go to
that is,
Taormina.
I tell you what, Taormina, in my opinion, is the best kept secret.
It's a better paradise
in Italy.
I
It's
would
like
have
amazing.
thought it would have been Mount Etna because it's so big.
Well, they see it from anywhere.
People want to see Etna. We have a day excursion to Etna.
Al, do you do the whole
We also have options. If people want to climb as they can get very close to the crater. We have guides that'll take them up there. I mean, there's a million things that we do. As a matter of fact, if you go onto our YouTube channel,
What's
we
that?
had a, we post we got into the hard news when Etna was exploding.
Yeah.
And one of our videos had 150,000 views from all over the world on Etna. If you go to YouTube, You, Me, and Sicily, you'll see our whole 300 videos over there. But some of the videos have gotten massive responses over the hurricanes and the floods and Etna's eruption. There's a lot of stuff going on in Sicily, believe me.
Al,
Not to mention the migrants.
Al, what about the? I know that you used to do the. I don't want to call it the Godfather tour, but don't you do a little of that where you take them to where the movie was filmed? Some of the places.
Well, in our neck of the woods is where The Godfather was filmed.
Right.
It was filmed in Giardini Knox's, Forza d'Agro, for example, Savoca. But those towns, Giardini Knox's, Savoca, and Forza d'Agro, have their own innate beauty in and of themselves.
Yeah. And
we would go there, whether there was a Godfather or whether there was Mary Poppins filmed here.
Gotcha.
Although going to Savoca and seeing the Bar Vitelli, that's the bar where Michael Corleone was. That's nice. But that guy has made a living on that little bar. For how many years has that been? 50 years, 40 years?
Yeah, 1975.
Yeah.
Right?
72.
I mean, basically,
72.
that's some of these tours about The Godfather, it's a one-trick pony type of a thing. There are people who do the quote-unquote Godfather tours, but we like going up there to see other things. Savoca, by the way, is known as the city of art.
Is
It's
it really? Fantastic. No kidding.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey, Al, by the way,
I've never been there.
Views on the Brody Mountain and the Strait of Messina, and also Calabria from Savoca. It's breathtaking, Mike.
By the way, for our viewers, David posted the You, Me, and Sicily link on our Facebook page. So if you want to zip on after the show, damn it, you watch the rest of the show, then you can go over to Al's You, Me, and Sicily and check out their site.
Appreciate that.
No problem.
We were on Facebook. We have a very large presence on Facebook, but we prefer the YouTube because what they do is they recommend us. Okay, and that's how you get views and people who are interested in what you're doing. YouTube does their own recommendations. Okay?
Chrissy is just walking us through that now. We're just in the infancy stages of that, and Chrissy's kind of walking us through it. So that's going to build. I'll tell you what, I was telling Mike, the best thing last week, last Friday night, when I got home on Friday, I made a nice couple of martinis for Ellen and I, and we sat there in our nice, beautiful room, and I said, Alexa, play the Sicilian Corner. It was so cool. That was really cool.
I used Alexa at the hotel, at the Encore.
Turn the lights on, turn the lights off.
Yeah, but I asked her to play the Sicilian Corner. It wouldn't do it.
You know what you have to say? She told me this. You have to say, Alexa, play the Sicilian Corner from iTunes. Is that how you have to say it, Chrissy? From iTunes?
Sure, yeah.
That's what you have to do.
That's where I made the mistake, because I tried a couple of times.
And it's boom, like nothing. Al, so let's talk about
saying please as well. Maybe.
Oh, please. Yeah, you got to see. It's a young lady you're talking about.
I say please.
You got to be nice to her.
I do. I like her.
Al, what about Thanksgiving?
I was thinking of you today because we went to our favorite restaurant market. They have a beautiful prepared food section, kind of like Whole Foods, where you buy stuff and take it out. And today they had tripe.
Really?
First time it's a winter thing. Yeah, you like tripe.
Well, Chrissy promised that she's going to try tripe when Joe Gatto comes in. She's going to try tripe on the air with us.
Chrissy.
No kidding.
Forget about it.
I don't recall agreeing.
I remember that.
Okay, sure. I believe you.
And the other one that's out that just started to come out now is the bacala to make what we call.
That doesn't appeal to me. That doesn't appeal.
And S is going to make a huge pot this week coming up. Because for Christmas, it's really nice to have the.
Now, the bacala is dehydrated, so you have to soak it for 3-4 days? Or
no, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have the salt on it.
Okay.
It has it's dehydrated, but you don't have to. There's no salt on it.
Okay.
The one with the salt is the other one.
Al, is Christmas as commercialized there as it is here?
That's a good question.
Not nearly as much by a factor of 85%.
Really?
Here it's more of a religious thing. Here, for example, it's all about nativity scenes. Every town has beautiful nativity scenes. The lights are just spectacular. I mean, too bad you guys couldn't see right now, but to my right is Catania, and it's now starting on December 1st, it gets lit up. And we're going to be going to their Christmas market. It's a ginormous market that will go next week, and we're going to film it and we'll put it on our YouTube. But it's really a religious festival. Unfortunately, the Feast of St. Agatha, which is the third largest religious festival in the world, has been canceled for this year. That's in February. So that's a little bit of a bummer.
Because of the COVID?
And this is the second year it's been canceled.
Wow.
Okay. So people are like, I mean, they have streaming and all this other stuff, but I mean, the Catanese people, a lot of people are really fanatical in their adoration of Santa Agatha. Very much so. Very much so. That's why so many people from this area are named Agatha.
Right. Yeah.
Like every other woman is named Agatha practically. It's crazy.
You mentioned nativity scenes. They're considered, that's like wealth. They get passed down from generation to
believe that.
generation
Yeah,
to
I believe that.
generation. They're so intricate, huh, Ralph? Some of the details, it's mind-boggling. I've seen some beautiful nativities.
They have, well, if you looked at our video this week, we did one of the cheap ones, okay, for sale. And the cheap ones still run a several €100. But you're exactly right. It's a craft, number one. Yeah. It's a profession, number two. And it's familial. It's in the family.
Exactly.
So, and then every year they add pieces on, okay? So they'll have a town, a whole town in Bethlehem of all the different people who work there, whether it's the blacksmith or this guy or that guy. And every year they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And also in Rome. And who can you thank for this stuff, this nativity scenes? And the answer is St. Francis of Assisi. Because up until the time of St. Francis, you couldn't, it was outlawed by the Ten Commandments. You couldn't have false idols. So Francis got to be very powerful politically, and he went up to the Pope and he says, hey, listen, I want to put up a nativity scene in a mountain over here and of Jesus, baby Jesus, and, blah, blah, blah. And the Pope said, okay, you can do it. And that's what opened up the gates to nativity scene. Before that, you couldn't have a nativity scene. You would get excommunicated or something like that. It was a mortal sin.
Chrissy, is Christmas big in Australia? I mean,
it's huge.
No different except there's no snow.
No, it's blistering hot.
Yeah.
Summer.
But I mean, is it commercialized in
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's just okay. So
yeah. Same as it is here.
Not much different.
Yep.
Not much different. Albert, we got about
Merry Christmas to you, Tom.
Yeah, we have about 3 minutes left, by the way.
Merry Christmas, but Santa Claus isn't called Santa Claus. He's called Babbo Natale.
Right.
Babbo-Natale. Babbo Natale. He looks exactly like Santa Claus, and every once in a while you'll see Santa Clauses. But the people who are really, quote unquote, exploiting Christmas, American style, are those who import from China. And there's a proliferation of Chinese stuff all over the place here.
I'm sure.
Every little town nowadays has the equivalent of a dollar store that really is really like W.T. Grant's used to be in Lawrence.
Right.
You can buy anything you want.
Wow.
Right? They are so well stocked for dirt cheap, and 95% or 98% of the products are imports from China.
Yeah, we got about 2 minutes left. I want you to tell us, give us your website address, give yourself a little plug.
Yeah, something different.
Well, okay. It's all about our YouTube. And if you just go to YouTube and you search You, Me, and Sicily, it'll bring you to a new world. That's all you have to do. We have everything up there, over 300 videos. We have over 7,000 people on subscription who automatically get it. We've had 1.3 million views. Our Facebook is terrific, too. We have over 26,000 fans on Facebook. And this is all started by Esther and I with like $50 in our pocket 8 years ago. We've gone from really nothing because Esther is a great storyteller and I'm a great bullshit artist. And for some reason, it works, Mike, if you know what I mean.
I hear you. I hear you, brother.
Sicily.
I hear you.
People love Sicily.
All right, brother.
So
listen.
It's all her. Listen, Mike, I don't know if I'm going to see you. I didn't get to see you this time. because I didn't want to climb up the stairs. Although I have to be really honest with you, but don't tell my brother.
Yeah.
I was actually in that studio.
No kidding.
I went there to buy some Toscanellos because I had run out, and I walked up there to see the studio, and it wasn't that big of a deal. So maybe the next time I come to the States, which I think will be August, maybe, if God wants and my health allows, then I will come back on your state. And if you want me to have on your show again, I'll come back then.
All right, brother, we love you. Keep in touch. I'll talk to you during the week.
Bye, Mike.
Take care, Al.
Peace.
Say
Take
hi to
care,
Esther.
Al.
We were just about out of time, guys. All right, Mikey boy, another hour flies by.
Enjoy.
You know what I'm going to do in between shows? I'm going to finish my cigar.
What's today, the 3rd?
All day.
Tomorrow, 22 years.
Wow, 22
Sicilian
years
Corner.
on the air. We got to do the math how many shows that is.
Wow.
It's well over 1,000 shows we've done. Well
No,
over 1,000.
really? Wow, you're
I was
so
a math
quick.
guy.
You're so quick.
With that being said, by the way, it's all because of you guys. For whatever we do, sometimes we don't know what the hell we're doing, but we have fun doing it. With that being said, remember, if you can't make fun of yourself, please do not make fun of anyone.
And the word America?
Great Italian word.
I'm proud of you, Grasshopper.
I've learned. Have a great week.
Audio Jungle.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.